Welcome to day 2 of our EID Summit 2020, the virtual experience. I'm sure we had a very good time yesterday with our speakers. I did. In fact, I had a memorable time yesterday. Well, guess what? Today promises to be better, promises to be more intense. So please sit back, relax, get your very cold glass of water, juice, and non-alcoholic wine. All right, and anticipate the next level today because it promises to be something else. Of course, to take it up from here is my own mentor and president, Mr. Kunle Komolafe.
Wow, guys, it is the second day Enterprise and Innovation Summit. Did you guys have a great time yesterday? I don't know about you, and I'm sure that you always have an app. It's okay to write down the things that the speakers are saying, I am saying, but beyond that, to have action plans. And we will be having an awesome time. So you want to sit tight, invite your loved ones, send out the link to people when we start, like it. Just it's about it. Let people learn as you are learning. You know, there are 3 things that are very important that I want to share with us very quickly before we go into the first session. And this is it. I call it the big factor. Do you know what big factor means? It means, number 1, you have to believe in yourself. Believe that you can do it. The second is that you have to always inspire yourself. I remember a mentor of mine will always say that the day you stop getting inspiration, you start to expire. He say, inspire lest you expire. So every day you want to be sure that you are getting inspired in one way or the other. Believe in yourself, inspire yourself, and the third is give yourself an opportunity to grow. Give yourself time to grow. Don't be in a hurry. You understand? It's all about process. The place of process cannot be overemphasized on the journey to success. Give yourself time to grow. You don't have to look at the lane of another to run your own race. You understand? You don't have to look at another man's clock to determine your time. Everyone has his own time to shine. You will shine. Just give yourself time to grow. That's what I'm talking about. The first is what? Believe in yourself. Inspire yourself. And give yourself time to grow. Let them go if they want to go. Just give yourself space and learn that it's all about the process. Did you get that? That's the big factor. Okay? Welcome to the second day of the Enterprise and Innovation Development Summit. And I'll be right back. Whoa, we are glad to have with us again Funke Awoboko for the 3rd time going, and we are not tired yet.
Clapping for myself. 3rd time. Is it 3rd time that is a charm or 2nd time? I don't know. Anyway, it's good to be back here again, although I'm in a different format. They said, welcome to the new normal, the new norm. So we are open and we are adjusting to it. So I hope this turns out the way we hope. KJK, I greet you again, as usual, and here I am at your beck and call. Mr. Tosin, greetings. All the panelists and the speakers and every other person, greetings to you. Thank you for having me again.
Awesome. So we want to say very big thank you for giving us this audience, this gift of access, this uncommon privilege that we have to always bang on your door at any time. I want to say a very big thank you to Uncle A too for allowing you to do this with us. Awesome. So where did the whole phenomenon start from? The grills in and out, the cocktail in and out. Where did this whole? I remember watching a video of yours sometimes ago, and you made mention of Lagos as the starting place. So you want to let us into this phenomenon called the Grills In and Out and the Cocktail In and Out.
Phenomenon. Well, I don't know about it being a phenomenon. I'm just a regular girl or a regular woman doing regular things. Cocktails In and Out, Grills In and Out started more out of my passion for hospitality. You know, I won't say just food or just drinks. I think I'm just somebody that likes to entertain, to make people happy, and what better way do you do it than feeding people and making people happy through food, through drinks, through companionship. So how did we start? I'm a lawyer by, or should I say I studied law because I don't know if I'm a lawyer anymore. And I guess they say necessity is the mother of invention. After I started having kids, I was jobless for a while, so I started thinking deep, and I decided to do something very different. I'm a lover of unique things. I love to be different in whatever it is that I set my mind to. So Cocktails In and Out as a company or as a business was not far-fetched from that same whole idea of me doing something different, because as of that time, 17, 18 years ago, in as much as I think we had about 1 or 2 companies doing it, it wasn't something that was really, really common. But more importantly is the fact that I saw the gap in the market, and the gap of knowing that, okay, I could do this differently, I could make it more interesting, I could make it my own, and understanding the Nigerian market, understanding the Nigerian psychology. I think that was a major factor for me to know that yes, this is something that with sacrifice, with discipline, with training, it could go far. Everything we do when it comes to business, really, at the end of the day, we take risk. But it was one risk that I was scared of taking it. But at the same time, I think my passion and my belief in what I wanted to do was greater than the fear of taking such a risk. So, interestingly, I keep saying my husband is my first customer. He was the first paying customer, So that's you don't joke. There's passion and there's business. Learn to separate the two, in as much as I found out that, especially for creative people, we could be very passionate and we forget the business aspect. I was like that too until I got a lot more training in what it was that I was doing and that I'm still doing. My children's baby dedication, the first two, was actually my first Cocktails In and Out gig, so to speak. And interestingly, as of that time, I did not, apart from what I had read in books, and when they tell you Google is your friend, for real, Google is your friend. There's really nothing I think you look for and you won't find. I had not gone through any formal, mixology training or bartending training. Everything I learned, for that specific job were things that I read in books and, saw online. And also I made sure I got a few friends of mine that had a bit more experience in terms of bartending, in terms of mixology, and they were able to help out. So as they say, from that first gig, I just had this thing about, I don't want people to come to my house. We had the party, there in Lagos, we're in Lagos then, and I thought, apart from the regular soft drinks, there should be something different, about this whole party. I want people to remember it and remember it for good. I think I also like compliments. I keep saying it, that I live for the wow, to hear people say, oh, wow, that was nice, oh, wow, that was grand. So maybe was that my vein part two, that contributed to Cocktails In and Out starting. And, from my baby dedication, I got my first gig, and, as they say, the rest is history. So that's how Cocktails In and Out. And then after Cocktails In and Out, Grows In and Out started in Abuja a few more years down the line. And the concept was still the same. It wasn't going to be the regular. I'm one of those people that, we have different people and the way they do businesses or why they do their businesses. I'm one of those people that when I decide to go into a business, it is not because I see somebody doing it. So that is why, for me, focus on competition has never really been my thing. Because in as much as, yes, it's important to know maybe what the competition or the competitor is doing, because I already have like a script that I'm following, and I follow it to the strictest standard, looking at what a competitor, because I know definitely whatever it is I'm going to offer is most likely going to be different from what the competition or what the competitor is doing. So same thing with grills, it was more out of need and what could be possible that I'd never seen. As of back then, I remember when I was pregnant with my last daughter, I had this craving for Bolly. As it was, a pregnant woman, when okay, you guys, you cannot identify with it, you're all men. But there's this craving that when you have it, I had a craving for Bolly, that's roasted plantain. And interestingly, I couldn't get it in Abuja. We drove down, people said, oh, go to one place in Garki, go to, God bless my husband. And I ended up having to roast the plantain myself in my oven. Out of the craving I had for it. And I remember that particular day, in my mind, I'm like, if I ever go into food in this Abuja, I must sell Bolly. It was so those were the kind of things that I put together. I'm also one of those people that I get the opportunity and I travel a lot, and I'm a foodie at heart, foodie at soul. Like the way I keep saying it, the way gold or designer bags, to some people, to some women, that's how going to restaurants and eating is to me. I love it. The whole idea of dining, the experience, is not just about the food. The fact that it could be an amala place under the bridge in Marina, it could be, and this thing has been in me, for a very long time. I remember when I was in Ogun State, I went to Ogun State University. A few of my friends and myself, we will actually charter a car and go to Ibadan from Agorwe to go and eat amala, and we'll come back and go, thank you for life, thank you for protection, I'm not sure that's it, but so that's the way it is. It's the novel idea of, dining, seeing people enjoy food, having to do point and kill. So same way when I travel, I like to explore restaurants, their dining concepts, and I saw, something that really caught my attention, which was then with the Mongolian grill, where you had the choice and the opportunity to decide whatever goes into your food. It was a bit different from what we did, but it was the same concept. Pick your veggies, pick your proteins. They do it there and there for you and all that. So that I brought back, that idea, and I thought, okay, I think this is something that people would also love. So when we started Grills In and Out, we had that Mongolian, Nigerian grill, and we brought in things that you couldn't really see anywhere else. So it's more out of my love, my passion for food, for entertaining, and for companionship.
This is good. Guys, are you already learning something from this story? I am already learning something. You need to write down, action points. That's the whole idea. There's no need hearing all this without you having action plans as to what to do afterwards. You understand? It's not what you hear that counts. Remember, I said that yesterday, but what you do with what you hear. So what are you going to do after EID Summit 2020? That's the question. You want to write it down. So going to do after EID Summit. All right, back to you, man. I want to ask, what are the 3 major lessons among several others that you would want to share with us from when the vision, this mega vision started, to where we are now? This is 2020, when you started, and then where we are. It's been a journey. Now, among several other lessons, what would you say? 3 key lessons that you have learned on this journey.
I don't know if it will be my number 1, but that's the first thing that actually came to my mind, and that is being resilient, especially in Nigeria. To do business in Nigeria, you have to, it's not just about passion anymore. A lot of you can have the passion, but that resilient spirit in you, that when you wake up in the morning against all odds, from traffic to power to challenges of the institution itself to AMAC, everything, you just need to know that I need to keep this going. This has to work. That's a major one for me, because apart from the fact that it brings in money, it's also, I also believe it's being an inspiration to some other businesses to even start based on what it is that we're doing. Also discipline. Discipline is very key. Not discipline in the sense that you need to know when to say no, when to say yes, how to go about things, not relaxing because you seemingly think things are going, you've started making money, and because of that, you can start spending your money anyhow without being accountable. You have to have some level of discipline for you to be able to, do a business, to do business for as long as we've been doing. 3, I don't know if I should call it, should I call it education or research or investing in oneself? You can't take that for granted. You still need to keep learning, you need to understand your business, you need to, keep abreast of innovation, abreast of things going on concerning that business. Your research could be within, it could be outside the country, depending on what works for you. Keep reading, keep educating yourself, keep investing in yourself. You should actually, I give myself targets on, okay, I need to learn about this, I need to learn about that this year and next year. Pace yourself, but at the same time, do not relent, or else you will just find out that you get swept under the carpet and you become too old school for what you're doing. So.
Wow. Awesome. So our next question is this, right? The cocktail industry or the grills industry is such that a lot of people seem not to take to be something serious, right? Everyone thinks I could mix stuff, I could do cocktails, I could do grills in my house, and all that. It just seemed to be a common thing. But how you have been able to bring a Midas touch, something uncommon out of what seemed to be common. It's something that people just walk by, cocktail, grills and all that. But you have brought so much panache, so much excellence, so much prestige to the cocktail industry and the grills industry. So we have the cocktail in and out, and we have the grills in and out, and it has become a name in the city. How did you do this? How were you able to make something that is common to become an uncommon experience for people? How did you do that? You want to talk to us about that?
Well, for that, I think maybe two or three key things. Believing in what it is that you decide to do. I had such a strong belief and conviction in being, able to sell that to the Nigerian public. I said something earlier about understanding the Nigerian psychology. I'm not saying I'm a psychologist, but when it comes to parties and entertainment, I think I have an idea of what obtains in that environment. And knowing that Nigerians, we love the good things of life. We like to be different. We like to, enjoy when the time comes. So it was, for me, it was just a case of knowing that which is the second thing. It will take a lot of sacrifice, but I knew it was doable at every point in time. The sacrifice was coming from the fact that this is not something that a lot of people understand. That's the cocktails now that I'm talking about. I'm talking 17, 18 years ago. But I took it upon myself to educate myself so that I could educate my target market and my target audience. That was very important. The sacrifice that at times I might give myself, should I say, condition, or some sort of just like, okay, if I decide to do this, I need to do it the way I've seen it in my head, which is I should be able to convince my target audience or my target market, like, okay, an average Nigerian knows Chapman as the regular cocktail. It was my duty to convince them that apart from that cocktail, apart from Chapman, do you know you can get a Ruby Red? Do you know you can get a Shirley Temple? Do you know you can get a Tequila Sunrise? You'll be amazed at how tough that could be. But I was not going to take no for an answer. I was that confident enough to have to say, when you say, oh, can I just have Chapman, for us to say, oh no, I'm sorry, we don't take only Chapman orders. Because I believe so much in what it was that we're going to do at the time. I also had trained myself eventually to know that telling them to take a Tequila Sunrise or telling them to take a Pina Colada, I was going to knock their socks off with how fantastic the product was going to be. So I would say, yeah, educating myself, educating my target market was how we're able to accomplish that. Then eventually, at every point in time, you need to keep thinking about the future, about the vision. When those things now became popular, when cocktails became popular at Nigerian parties and all that, what's next? How are we going to be different? Then we now started bringing in it was more value. It was now about customizing the cocktails, giving interesting names, building sets, around the cocktails. So it wasn't just about the cocktails anymore. It's about you entering the hall and knowing that, oh, even my cocktail stand is at par with the decoration, is at par with the theme of the party. So at every point in time, like I said, if you understand what goes on in the Nigerian parties, understanding your target market too. There are some places where those things will also not work. But when you understand your target market, when you know, first you need to decide who your target market is. When you do, then you can easily sell such things to them. So for somebody that started with, no man, no, you can't do Chapman in no, let us add tequila, Tequila Sunrise or a whiskey sour, Amarita sours to your drink and all that. It is easy for you to be able to convince them and say, man, no, now we have another package. It's not just about the cocktails anymore. It's about the whole set, about theming your party. You want like a James Bond theme or, like a Lagos to London. And that's it. So at a point in time, they'll be the ones challenging you because they now start coming up with things that you yourself didn't even know was possible. And we are always, open to such challenges. We look forward to it.
Woo! It's getting really hot here. Thank you so much, man. The next question is this. Now, there's someone who probably is watching and he or she has this big idea, this big concept at the back of his or her mind, but they are waiting. They're waiting for that time where, they can hit it big. So they're waiting for that time when they can smash the market real hard. And they've been waiting for a while, and they're still waiting. Yeah. Should they still wait? That's the big question. Am I supposed to wait for my idea to smash, to become mega big before I launch out?
My answer to that one is very simple. I said it last year, I said it 2 years ago, and till date, that has still been my own, what should I say, that has been the path that I've decided to follow. Start small, grow fast. Start small, grow fast. When you say start small, when we started, I started in my house, in my 2-bedroom flat in Surulere back then in Falun. We had one small space that we could convert into where people could come for tasting and all that. I'm not sure, yeah. Some people had the opportunity of having big money to start, big businesses, but a lot of us, we didn't have that opportunity, and I'm not even sure if we did, the business would have grown the way it did. Because starting small also lets you have an appreciation for the sacrifice, for you understanding the nitty-gritty of your business, of knowing what could go wrong, what will go wrong. Yes, and some things will definitely go wrong. That's part of business. But you'll be able to avoid such mistakes by the time your business is getting bigger or broader. That's why I said maybe I'm not the right person to answer the question about having this very big idea, then so that you can, because I never experienced it. All my businesses, it started basically from the scratch, from days of 10 cocktails to serving 20 cocktails at events, to it increasing to 50 to 100, and later on maybe to 5,000 and to 1,000. That's growth.
Ma'am, this is good. This is good. We are loving this. Now, one of the things that I found out that stands you out also is excellence and innovation. You just have a way of like I said before, making uncommon that which people see as common. Like bringing out gold from the mud kind of person. Now, recently, I was going through your Instagram page, and then you were talking about the hangover pack. Like, I saw this hangover pack that people who come for parties, that you being the one supplying the cocktails and all that. And then you have the hangover pack. It even have medications that they could take for headache and all. And I'm like, who does that? I mean, that was like, whoa, this is good. So people that shouldn't be worried about getting extremely high when they come for parties and all that. You have the hangover pack for them. And then the COVID-19 came. At first, you were, a little bit closed up. And then all of a sudden, I began to see the grills, the fish, the crabs, all the stuffs you began to, distribute. That wasn't it, that wasn't it. But how you now began to give each of them names. Dr. This, Mr. This, by this person, all your packages now had a name. And I'm like, whoa, this is creativity at its peak. Now, would you want to talk to us? Now, for us as an organization, we believe so strongly in excellence, and we don't joke with creativity and innovation. And that's it right there. And we are asking, what would you say? Could you talk to us a little bit about excellence in business, creativity in business, and being innovative in business? And not just in business, in leadership, in everything that we do. There's a need for us to bring excellence into it. Could you talk to us a little bit about that, ma'am?
The inspiration, maybe the people that, I know there are a lot of people that are looking up to me. That is definitely one. And I can't, afford to let myself down. or let them down. Then I also, lately I was telling someone, which I didn't know, until this lockdown got a lot of us thinking about life, and somehow I came to the conclusion, like, I think I'm a very competitive person. So, which I thought was actually news, until I asked someone who is supposed to be a supposed friend of mine, and I'm like, do you know I'm very competitive? I'm like, yes, I know. I'm like, you do? So yes, I said, I didn't really see myself that way until lately. So I think based on the fact that that is my nature, I just find it hard to give up. It's not my nature. I was going to say, is there anything like maybe I'm wired that way? I guess my upbringing had to do with that, the kind of school. I keep talking about Mayflower School, but those are the kind of values, that they instilled in us when we were growing up. And you'll be amazed at how such things, how they form you. Because we were taught, just keep pushing. Never think of failure. Just keep pushing. If failure is just an avenue for you to get up and continue and start all over again. And now that I also have children, I think that yes, they are my major inspiration as well. I know they look up to me. I won't say they are taking my footsteps, but I know they have the same passion I have when it comes to food, when it comes to business, when it comes to entertaining and all that. So I don't want to get home one day and say, no, I decided not to do this thing, and they ask me, why, mommy, and what would my answer, be? And more importantly, I love money. I love the good life. I love to eat at good restaurants. And I don't know how to steal. I don't know how to embezzle. So all I understand is work hard. The working hard should pay off, and you should make profit. And from your profit, you can enjoy life.
Wow, this is really getting hot. Okay, so what would be your advice to young business owners who desire, to be like you? They also want to become leaders in their space at some point in time. What are the things you would say they need to begin to do? The things they have to stop doing, the principles, they have to start imbibing, the things they have to be conscious of, things they have to give attention to become this successful in business or even in leadership. So what would be your advice to such younger business person or such younger leader, at this time that we are in now? You want to tell them about what they need to begin to give attention to, what they need to become conscious of, and the things they need to begin to take notes of as they grow and as they build their business, their system, their organization, products, or even their services.
I've spoken about being resilient. Yeah, so I won't touch on that again. Also, it is very important to set attainable goals. In as much as I said, start small, grow fast. Your growing fast should apply sense, for lack of better word, into growing fast. They will tell you when you go to business school, you have your 1 year plan, your 5 years, your 10 years. It is very important. You might not even have the 10 years, but you have a vision of where you want your business, where you see it going to, or how it's going to grow. Keep that vision in mind. Then, more importantly, like I said, I'm not one of those people that I'm so into understudying the competition. I don't belong to that school of thought. And I think that is where a lot of the younger people, coming into business nowadays, that's where they make their mistakes. They forget about their own vision, about how and why they are in that business, and focus on the supposed competition. at the end of the day, most of these people you're looking at, you really don't have an idea of, you don't have the nitty-gritty of how their business is running. It is maybe what you see on social media, the numbers you hear them put up maybe in newspapers, on Facebook, and you are thinking, oh, how come I'm not there? How come I'm not gotten there? What makes you think that that's actually the fact? And you now lose total control, you lose focus of why and how you started your business. I would say, rather than focus your energy on that, focus on how to make your business better. Research, invest in yourself, understand, your market, understand the business. When I say understand the business, I spoke about it earlier on, the fact that you need to go to the root of, maybe you are not the first person to start that business. The people that started it, why? How did they do it? Why did they do it? Once you have an idea of that, that now helps you into formulating your own goals, into formulating your own agenda, knowing, oh, okay, this is why started this business, or this is how this business started. Okay, I can do mine in a better way. I can do mine with this other strategy. It doesn't have to be necessarily the way the others they're doing it. And I'll keep saying it. Nigerians, we as Nigerians, I'm a Nigerian too, we love innovation. We love to be different. We, sort of me saying, we're very vain people. When you have the money, you want people to know that yes, they say, show color, you show yourself. So once you understand that and know that yes, you are ready to sacrifice the time, the energy, to sell your business, to sell your idea, and with God on your side, it's a matter of time. And that way, the sky is your starting point, not even your...
Wow. All right, guys, I hope you are taking notes. You are writing down action points. Like I would always say, that it is not what you hear that counts, but what you do with what you hear. So it's all about the doing. It's all about the doing. You have to be in the business of doing, not just hearing. You've read a lot, you've heard a lot, you've been everywhere, so it's not about what you're hearing or what you are listening to, right? Or what you are even reading. It's about what you are doing with what you're hearing, what you are listening to. It is about the do. You get what I'm trying to say? So you have to be in the business of doing. Okay, so now the next question is this, and it's about relationship. Now, I've seen how you relate with a lot of people, business people. I see you promote quite a lot of people, on even people that do the same thing as you are doing, and it's just amazing. So my question is this: how do I manage relationship in business? Now, this is one question I have had to ask other speakers as well, trying to understand how everyone handles relationship because I have found out that we are relational as humans, and if you don't understand how to manage relationship in business, you wouldn't go too far. Now, I know there will be haters because I've seen quite a lot of people who have shown you so much love too. Social media, you just cut across, right? So my question to you is this, man: how do I handle relationship in business? Good, bad. How do I handle relationship in business?
I consider myself to be a shy person normally, believe it or not. But that thing about when it comes to my business, basically I wear adult. It's still me, but I understand when you're in the hospitality business, especially the part that I'm in, you cannot afford to be too shy. You are most of the time the face of the business. So business relationships at times, I think I've ended up having clients, based on business, based on them giving us jobs and all that they're almost like family members now, because of the kind of relationship that we've been able to build with them. We consider our customers to be our clients to be very important, in our course of business. But at the same time, you also need to realize that as a business relationship at times requires firmness, when you just need to be firm, when you feel that, okay, this is I'm going way out of my belief or out of what I stand for, and you just decide to put your foot down. But there's a way you can do it without being rude or being cantankerous about it, and just focus on the business and building relationships. It's not just business relationships, now building relationships. I consider myself to be a people's person. I love people around me, young, old, especially the young ones, now, because I consider myself to be old. So, and I know you can't go wrong with having, that's why I have the Mr. Tosin and Mr. Ife, knowing that at any point in time I can need something, or they will know. I don't know it all. I'm not even sure I know half of it. I get educated every day by my child, by the younger generation, especially this social media thing that keeps driving me crazy. Every day and every day. I still don't understand it, but you surround yourself with people that that can be helpful to you, that you can be helpful to. I'm guessing I must have done something for some of them too that would have made a lasting impression. So life is not about give and take. I surround myself with positive, surround yourself with positive people. Just not, like I said, it's not just about business. Positive people that that can impact on you positively. I believe in that thing about surrounding yourself with positivity, and that way you'll be able to function better. Run, yes. This one took me almost, I was already in my 40s to realize that yes, it's true. You run when you see that you have somebody that is negative minded, or that does not see anything good in anybody, or any plan that you want to make. Run away from such people. It's not fight. That kind of, anytime the person wants to say, I'm coming, I'm coming, that kind of. But avoid such, and surround yourself with people that will build you, people that I try to, the people that are older than me are people that most of the time they are richer than me. It's not because of their money, but because I also kind of feel like they experience life more than me. They are more intelligent than I am, so I learn from their experience. When I say richer, I'm talking about in terms of success, business success, how they've been able to achieve things. So if God now says such a person will be my customer or my client, I try as much as possible. I just do it generally. I like people to feel good about themselves, about life, about having to come to me for something, whether you want to patronize or not. I try as much as possible to leave a positive impression about myself, about my product, about, you might end up not even buying, but I don't want you to go with the mindset of, oh, okay, it's because they are nasty or anything like that. And that's, I train my staff, I train the workers about that as well.
Wow. It's just about relationships, right? Thank you so much for that. Now, have you ever had any failures in business before? Forget about grills in and out, cocktail in and out, blah, 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 and all that. Have you ever had any failure in business at all? And this is it. How did you bounce back? What lessons can we learn from that process of you having such experience and the things that you did to be able to bounce back? So what are the lessons you want to bring out from there to help our listeners and our viewers today at the Enterprise and Innovation Development Summit? So I had this failure, I bounced back, this is what I did, these are the actions I took, and this is where I am today.
Plenty. Oh my God. Like I said earlier on, morning and sitting down and having a pity party. Yes, I normally have pity party, but it just does not last for more than one day. You just have to get up. Yes, at times we overestimate things. We take things for granted as well, and I think I've been guilty of that lately, especially with I'll use our restaurant business as a typical example. We started very strong, and I'm one of those believers in saying yes. I believe my business should be able to work, to be able to run without me. That's what they teach you in business schools. That's what. But when it comes to you have to understand that when you are running business in Nigeria, it is a different ball game entirely. Apart from the system, we the people. When people tell you, okay, we opened a branch in Lagos, and I remember people saying, yo, so are you moving to Lagos? I'm like, I look at me like, why am I moving to Lagos? Is Dangote in all these offices? Or is Mike Adenuga in all these offices? What, I fail to understand then is that there are some business, and I still stand by it, that requires most of the businesses in Nigeria, requires your attention. When I say attention, at least 80%. Now, and I'm talking from experience. I'm also one of those people that when I delegate, I trust completely. I want to believe everybody's like me. I've hired a manager. You're supposed to be yourself as a manager. And they teach you, those things they teach you in the business. Some of them, they work, but at times you need to come to the reality of doing business as a Nigerian, as the people, A lot of these people are coming from the people you hire. They are not, seemingly in the same money spending bracket that you are in. And I use the waiters as an example. As of that time, we were already even paying more than what's it called?
Industry average.
The industry average. But you are thinking of somebody that will wake up and is probably coming from maybe a Pape to a Wuse 2, or somebody that is coming from a Lagos mainland to an island. He has to take a bus, he has to and you honestly think that same person will have the same mindset of wanting to run your business the way you want it to be. It just doesn't. I'm open to anybody. I'm talking from experience, from my own experience, and there's nothing that was not done under the books. That you encourage them, some of them you house them, you pay school fees, everything just to make them see that yes, we are part of this vision. There is a career path for you in what you are doing, but somehow you still invest in them, and something, I don't know if it is the Nigerian thing or the circumstances of what the whole country is and how we're going, but there's just something that does not make it work. And trust me, we've tried everything under the books. And when I say everything, people that maybe they didn't even think of having a passport, to encourage them, we've flown them out of the country to say, yes, see, this is what is. In fact, I think when you do such things, that they come back and it just. So my major failure would have to that right now we've shut down all our restaurants. By now we should have opened another one, but based on the pandemic and all that. But I had to, sometime last year, I had to sit down and think, why are you doing business if you are not making money? When you get to a stage where you are using another business to fund a business, then that, for me, that is failure. So I feel that I understand the market better. I've done some research and I know where we've erred. Because if you cannot be in three places at the same time. You have people, in three different branches. you have the system. But that's one thing we're also very good at, beating the system. We beat, I'm sorry this is very long, but if you want me to be, I need to be real about this. Beat the system without any, regret whatsoever. It's something that has now become part and parcel of us as people. And when I say us, I'm talking about everybody. I go to bank, I personally, I don't want to queue, so I'm already calling to you. But, people are on the queue. It's part of beating the system, because in the case of, so when the people that seemingly have the money, I'm just talking to, and don't forget me, I'm SME, so you can now imagine the big boys and the big the big boys over there. So I now also have some people that are under, they have their struggle. So coming to earn a 30k or 35,000 naira per month, really, let's be very factual. What, at this point, what does 35,000 naira, that anybody earning 35,000 naira, what can the person really get? So somebody that you are hiring to come and be a waiter or hostess or something, is already coming with the mindset that, okay, you see this 35,000 naira is for, but definitely that person has something else in mind. Or maybe a manager starts earning about 150k, 120, he has kids. He's probably got a wife. Yeah, we are housing him and all that. But he's seeing people coming in with Bentleys and the Ferraris and the BMs, and he's thinking, how long? The other day, I was out of the country and I was talking to a colleague of mine, and we were in a remote, somewhere in Europe. I even told the guy, I said, this reminds me of my grandfather's village in Abeokuta, and I'm being very honest, in terms of the structure. Europeans, they stick to their houses and all that. I said, the only difference in this, they have water and they have light. And if only we could even get that, the contentment that comes from having water and light in every household, you'll be amazed. Why are we working so hard? Because you want to be able to buy a generator, a big one, not I better pass my neighbor. You want to be able to put diesel. And you find out most of these places, somewhere in, I think, South Africa, they start work by 8 a.m. By 4, they've shut down. Think about Dubai. We as Nigeria, in fact, I was laughing. I said, hey, the malls, then we were in Lube Mall. I said, we were still fighting the management that telling us to be closing by 9 o'clock. They were being inconsiderate. Meanwhile, malls in such places, and somehow they seem to have a better system. They seem to have a better way of, source of, I would say source of livelihood, the better way of living. They are more contented. So I found out that some of this, our failure, or should I say my failure now, has to do with believing so much in that you don't have to be there for your business to work. I don't know about some other businesses, but when it comes to restaurant business, hospitality business, yes, you need to be there. Now, do not also forget the fact that I'm also somebody's wife. I'm some people's mother. That also comes into play. This business is not supposed to take all my life. I have people too that I'm responsible towards and all that. You need to think about being in school, you need to be there for your husband, you need to, travel, maybe to see the kids and all that. All those things. You also have to factor them in. When you were asking me, so let me answer that question that I know you were going to ask about being a woman. There's time for everything. I tell people that are coming behind me, maybe when they're getting married and the business is booming, and I say, madam, I hope you are getting ready. When you start having kids, this business is going to be secondary. So put it in place. Put things in place. It won't be like when you are there, but at least you want it to run to a 50, to a 60, if you are lucky, maybe a 70%. And that's the honest truth. In Nigeria, we've not gotten to that stage of your business will run without you. Don't worry. That's a major learning curve for me. For Nigeria, we've not gotten. It's not that it's not doable, but think about the people that their businesses are running without them. Think about it very well. Who are the people that are the help of, apart from the owner of that business? Are they Nigerians? Have you thought about it? I pray, I'm, proudly Nigerian. I love my country. I honestly do not see myself living anywhere else apart from this country and all that. But I'm also truthful to myself to know that we've not gotten to that stage of somebody that will tell you your business. And that was basically what I think killed, I won't say killed, because it was a conscious effort for me to say, you know what, I need to re-strategize. I need to consolidate these businesses. Yeah, and we're actually going to do very big and all that, but the pandemic, we're also going to do like an overhaul. Definitely we'll still do it, but we're taking our time this time around.
All right, earlier on, man, I actually talked about the place of competition, how a lot of people are into cocktails, a lot of people are into grills and all that. But you've been able to come up with concepts, principles, and creativity, innovation, excellence, and have made you stand out amongst many. Now, someone is watching, and he or she is asking, I have a lot of people who are doing the same thing like I am doing, and it seems as though we are into competition. So how do you handle competition? Now, like I said before too, I've seen you even talk about people who are into grills, who are into cocktail on your own page. Do you see them as your competitors? How do you handle competition in business?
I think that they don't exist. I don't know if that's just arrogant. I don't even know if that's a good business strategy. But that's who I am. I didn't start a business because everybody has different reasons for starting their businesses, and because I'm this kind of person that I don't like to lose focus, especially when I believe in something so much. My people that I have quite a number of friends that we do the same thing. So for me to use the word competition, actually, it makes it feel like we're enemies. But they are my friends, they are my, people I can relate with. I can call and say, oh, I need something, do you have? But at the same time, I also understand having trade secret and not crossing that line. Now, for cocktails example, for cocktails in and out, I'm not the oldest, but I'm one of the oldest in that industry. So I have a lot of people that came after me and will tell me, oh, you're an inspiration, oh, we used to look at what you were doing and that was what inspired us, or that's how I. So it could be like an emotional thing. So having to even see them as competition or to say, oh, you have to be wary, I find it very funny. I've had situations, I'm sure you know about Cocktails to Live For, which was like an initiative of some sort that I started, and basically it was bringing supposed competition together for us to build our industry, for us to make it better, for us to get more exposure and things like that. So a lot of them, we travel together, we share ideas, if you're in Nigeria, you definitely have some struggles that are it's just the same to you. Is you can identify with it, so it gives you some sense of, okay, I'm not in this alone. But when it comes to maybe their strategy or how they are running their business, really it's really none of my business. I've had this situation where some customers will call me and say, maybe I give you a price and they say, hey, but I called your somebody and the person is giving me cheaper. I smile and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, but this is what works for us. Maybe my overhead might be more than theirs. I don't know if it's the same thing that we are putting in the drink, and that is really none of my business. So I don't allow it to affect my business decision.
Thank you.
I'd rather make my mistakes and learn from it.
Awesome. Wow. Thank you so much, man. I just have this question, and it's for the younger ladies that are listening to me. If you are a young lady and you are listening to us, and when I say us, I mean Funke Awoboko, and I asking the question, ma'am, do you have any counsel, or would you help give counsel to a young lady who wants to go into business, already in business, building a business? What word or what counsel do you have for her? Because she's going to face a lot of challenges. She's going to have to cross a lot of red lines, and she has to jump in a lot of hurdles on her way to becoming successful like you are. So what counsel, what advice do you have for such a lady at this time that we are in?
Well, the beauty of being in Nigeria is, for me, and I think for a lot, the support system is great. You have people around you. Most of the time you have your mom, the grandma, the aunties, and I think that for me has helped me a great deal. But more importantly, there's time for everything. I'm not perfect. I'm not the perfect wife or the perfect mother to my kids, but I've made them, they are very supportive. And because they see what you do, I involve them, especially the children. They have an understanding of what it takes, to do what I'm doing. Because of that, they are more understanding. But be that as it may, I also say there's time for everything. Enjoy motherhood, because before you know it, you are looking like, what just happened? And at times you leave the house in the morning and at night you get back and your child says something and you're like, how did you, when, like this child is growing. In terms of being a wife to God be the glory, I have a very supportive husband. Very, very. Actually, people think I'm not a technical person at all. So when you see most of those, my technical designs and all that, I just have it in my head. Then I do some rubbish drawing because I can't even draw. But by the time I tell him, he gets it and he puts it out properly. And at times, he even helps with getting somebody that will help with building of set or advise me on how to go about it. So my husband is quite supportive. Especially for the young ones, which I've seen happen over and over. I keep telling my young friends when they are getting married, if they're already in the business, I say, get ready. See, there's going to be a time we get pregnant. You see, from that pregnancy to another 1 or 2 years, it's almost like your life belongs to somebody else. Don't beat yourself about it. If you've put enough structure in place, in as much as you need to be there for your business, it will be there. So it's better to do the sacrifice. But once you start getting married, and God help you if you have one of those very demanding husbands that wants you to get home at 4 p.m. like or 5 p.m. in the evening. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. So far you have an understanding. And you see, this pandemic too has taught us a lot of things. Working from home. there's a lot of working from home that you can do now, and be very strategic about your time. But enjoy the moment, enjoy being a wife, enjoy being the mother, as well. They will start growing. You don't want to be asking yourself, so where did the time? At a point in time, especially for the kids, they're in kindergarten, they're in playgroup. Maybe by the time they're in secondary school, you have a bit more time because they're more, independent, and later on, you now start thinking about university, which is something that you also need to involve yourself in them making the right decision and training them properly and all that. So I don't know it all. I won't say experimenting, but I hope to God that I'm on the right path and I'm doing the right thing. Momo, am I doing the right thing as a mother? I am. Thank you very much.
All right, so recently I was watching an interview that you did, and you were talking about how you've been in business for 17 years. You've been doing this cocktails for 17 years. Whoa! And this has taken you to several countries and continents of the world. That's amazing. That is so amazing. So I want to ask how this journey has been with you thus far. I remember listening to you talk about how you were in South Africa and you had to taste different kinds of wine from morning till late night. You were just, I guess what you were just trying to do is to become a master at what you were doing. And I remember you saying something like, if I'm given a particular wine to taste, I probably could tell you what it is. I mean, that's a master talking right there. What would you say to us about these 17 years? What are the lessons? What are the principles? What are the guiding rules for the past 7? I mean, from a lawyer to becoming a mixologist, and now you are into grills and several other things that you do. What are the lessons? What are the things you would have to say to our audience at the Enterprise and Innovation Development Summit 2020 as we come to an end of this session?
I'm very stubborn. Let's start with that. When it comes to something that I believe in so much, yes, I think maybe my stubbornness has something to do with it, and the fact that it's I don't take no for an answer. My staff, my colleagues, they know. I don't believe in nothing is, it's impossible. And then I guess more importantly, I think because I enjoy what I do, I enjoy it a lot. So I really don't see it as, I'm not forced to do it. Yes, it has its challenges, but the mere fact that I don't want to have it any other way, or I can't have it any other way. I enjoy how I started. I enjoy making people happy. I enjoy the effects that my service, the effects it has on people. I think that is key for me. So maybe when I know that people have started, there is no appreciation for what it is that we do, I guess that might get me down and not want to. But so far, so good. We still have people that, they love what we do and they show appreciation by letting us know, by patronizing us, by, building a community and family, in what it is that we do. That, I think, is what has kept me going. And the fact that, yes, we're not just doing it free of charge, we're making money from it. That is a major factor too.
Oh, whoa! Now I feel like singing I Believe I Can Fly. Thank you so much, Ma, for this session. I am excited, and we are privileged and we are honored to have someone like you within our walls. Thank you, and I know a lot of us have learned a lot. Can we tell her a very big thank you, on our comment pages? Can we do that quickly? Awesome. Thank you so much, ma'am. It's been a great time with you. All right, have a good one. Bye.
Now I don't know what to say. I'm sure you guys, I had to you strongly, from day one that I met you. I mean, you are part of that whole, it's gone beyond just the summit now. You are part of the family, even Mr. Kune that is not here. I know how much impact and how happy anytime I see you. I actually feel every time you guys call me, I'm honored, but not only honored, but I'm always thinking, what the heck do they really, think I know that they seem to come yearly and yearly for me to say the same thing and the same thing. But I guess I must be saying something that touches one or two souls, and for that I'm grateful, I'm humbled, I'm honored. I'm about impact. I'm about not just women, general, when it comes to young people growing and being a better person, or being the best that they can be in whatever it is they decide to do legally now.
Before I go on, I'd like to take out this time to thank Real Platform for this opportunity. I do not take it for granted. Hi, my name is Pascal Cyril Okere, aka Alphabet, and in a few minutes I'm going to be delivering to you a masterpiece that's titled The Grave. Now, we'll die. Yes, all of you. I don't care if you're atheist, pastor, priest, herbalist, that's your ish, Christian, Muslim, Judaist or Buddhist. I don't care if your years and prayers march to hell as some may, because there's no May backs without April. Now that I've brought to a bus stop this bus of yours that you thought won't stop, permit me to junction the next street light of my purpose here today. They call me Grave. You all will end up coming to me, as I will usher you into mass, bracket your burial hymns, multiply the eulogies to equal the stench of your corpses. Your corpse stinks. You humans blame and hate me when the locked lungs of your loved ones longs for air, forgetting that I am your safety when every hate speaks. Because when every ex seeks Y and claims to be right, I'm the only lover you can find that is left. You sweat all night, praying and binding me, playing it safe, scared of life in me. Create gardens like AK-47 made for to serve you, then shoot at yourselves and fall to settle in me. And just in case you skip updated information, in every 4 seconds worldwide, one person commits suicide daily. In other words, they crave to come to me, Grave. Yes, they prefer my coffin, bed, 6 feet of death, and a cuddling duvet of earth to this life competition that comes with petition. I held a meeting with my board of directors, where suicide was my secretary and depression held my treasury. I could swear that death came in late because she had a date. I would spare you the rest, but this spare could pierce you to death. So next, humans are scared of us. And still they scare men to us. Prefer technologies to techno their logic. No wonder your terminology is grown nostalgic. These WhatsApp status and updates you update. I believe in the emoticons with no emotions, but do you believe in the emotions of the emoticons you tick on? I guess social media has made my job easier. Hashtag love yourself. It's a hashtag for them to love you the way you are, because even your shadow hides when you face the light. Hashtag nobody cares. Hashtag make this money. You know what's funny? Out of the money, they are stuck with me, begging me to give them peace. I am your peace when the world wars you to demon. Your comfort when it forces you to mourn. You see, I can guarantee that you all will die. But only you can guarantee when and how. Only you can decide to die full or empty. Every night, I walk my graveyard and I see rooms filled with men that died full full of ideas, untapped inventions, boxes of gifts unsealed, books unpublished, libraries never read, masterpiece torn to pieces, stitched to these confines, cultures buried alive, knowledge cage, folded into chapters, revelations of caskets of New Testament. As you're thinking Bible now, they plan your burial rites and how they must buy bull. And you're a Hebrew and star from your origin, and so they must hide too. You see, my graveyard was made for empty men. Please, stop breaking the rules. I wish I could turn you back from my gates with those gifts. Those baggage. Because didn't hear this bag will age. This cage can bag your age. But this cage will pass our gauge. In here, those gifts are called baggage. And they are cabbage. Men drive men to drive, turn around and then drive them to die. And this fragile man looking for one to talk to, at least let's be two, only to find out that she too wants to be left alone too. Two is company, they say true. But who are your companies, humans or a two? Two. Before I leave, let's just be sure you all got my point. You all will die. You will end up coming to me. And I don't care if you come through this boxers of men that boxes you to waste, or if you came through a seduced lover that made you come. Come. But man, come empty. Give to the world all that you were given before you give in to come to me. Give to the world everything you were given before you give in to come to me. Because that's a reason to be giving more time to be living in the land you live in, and the breath that you breathe in by the one who gave you the breath that you're breathing, whoever you think he is. Because if I was the creator and you tore around with a hammer and you have not earned, I will send you to earth. But if you're busy demonstrating everything I've taught you on low key, then maybe I just might give you more as God.
Ladies and gentlemen, awesome. We have the one and only EID Kabasa, and it's the closing discussion of the Enterprise and Innovation Development Summit 2020. We've had an awesome time since yesterday, and it's been mind-blowing. The comments, the responses, the feedbacks have been transformational. I'm so excited about the virtual experience. On behalf of the leadership of the Real platform, I want to say a very big thank you to everyone that has stayed true from yesterday up until now. Today, we are having the closing discussion with the only EID Kabasa. Thank you so much, sir. It's so good to have you here, and it's always a privilege. Your humility, your accessibility is mind blowing. You know, everybody is looking forward to this session as well. Everyone, Kabasa. Ladies and gentlemen, awesome. We have the one and only EID Kabasa, and it's the closing discussion of the Enterprise and Innovation Development Summit 2020. We've had an awesome time since yesterday, and it's been mind-blowing. The comments, the responses, the feedbacks have been transformational. I'm so excited about the virtual experience. On behalf of the leadership of the Real platform, I want to say a very big thank you to everyone that has stayed true from yesterday up until now. Today, we are having the closing discussion with the only EID Kabasa. Thank you so much, sir. It's so good to have you here, and it's always a privilege. Your humility, your accessibility is mind blowing. You know, everybody is looking forward to this session as well. Everyone, Kabasa session. When is his session coming? And this is the session. And I want to say thank you so much, sir. We appreciate you.
Thank you so very much, Pastor K, for having me. And it has been really a pleasant journey knowing you as a person, as a great leader, and you are definitely a great man of thoughts whose ideas and thoughts over the years have actually been able to shape and build up a whole lot of people that I know around you and the world at large. And again, thank you for having me last year in Abuja. It was awesome. You know, we were there, we had fun. We were able to learn from a whole lot of speakers, and most importantly, we had fun learning. Thanks to Sheyi Law for last year, thanks to Duri Wari Pekin, and for all the wonderful array of speakers that you had last year at the Abuja Summit. It was awesome. And this year, I trust God that it's going to be another awesome time with what we are here to do. And thanks to the audience that are watching us as we speak now. We don't take you guys for granted. Thank you for actually taking our time to listen to us.
All right, so let's just go straight into the questions that we have for you. Now, the first is this. I know personally that the God factor is key for you. So that haven't been settled. What other factors would you say has made you who you are today? What other factor, or what factor would you say rather, that has made the EID Kabasa that we know today who he is?
Now, let me quickly get to the question, Pastor K. Let me quickly get to the question that was just asked now. And that is, what are those factors that I think made me? Well, a whole lot of things, but most importantly, I was made by God. And I would say, you know, a lot of times we will say our backgrounds, our upbringing, and all of those things, they make us. But over the years, because I tend to want to be the type that wants to pay attention to landmarks, to some of the things that I know have worked for me, so that I won't just end up, anytime I'm asked this question, I will just say it's the FG that made me. And when I say the FG, you know, I'm talking about the favor of God. I realized that beyond our backgrounds, beyond the kind of education that we had, beyond some of the stuff that I've gone through in my life, beyond all of those experiences, yes, they helped in making me become who I am today. But most importantly, I think it has to do more with the decisions that I've made. That is, the decisions I've made over those things that have happened around me, over those experiences, over a whole lot of things that have happened around me. You know, when we were growing up, people will say, you look like your father, you look like your mother, you look like your aunt, or you look like this family member of yours. But immediately we get to that adult, matured age, then people tell you that you are looking more like the decisions that you have made. So I will say I'm a product of some personal decisions that I've made over the years. And some of the practical decisions are the decision to remain a learner for the rest of my life. Because I know that the day you stop learning, you start dying. I've heard that over a zillion times, and I pay attention not to lose sight of the fact that I have to remain teachable. I have to remain a learner in everything that I do. I learn from everything. I learn from everybody. I learn from foolish people, stupid people, from wise people, from average people. I learn lessons. And I also read books. I learn from books. But most importantly, I'm not the fantastic book reader like most of you. Yes, I read quite a number of books. But most importantly, I observe trends. I observe people. I question status quo. I question things around me, you know, because I'm a creative person. What we do mostly, for you to excel, you need to keep looking for the new in the old. You know, you keep questioning the old, that, okay, why is the old like this? Obviously, if the mission for the old is to achieve this, then some things have to change from the way it's being done. So I get to question things, to look for new methods to do stuff and all of that. And I think those are the things that over the years they've been able to shape me, to bring me to the point that I am now. And I am still an evolving being. I'm still becoming a whole lot of things. I've become a whole lot of stuff, and I'm still becoming a whole lot of things. I'm still becoming a good person, because you can't really say that I've actually arrived or anything. So I would say learning is a major key for me, and the ability to stay teachable and all of that. Yeah.
Whoa, thank you so much, Kabasa. We appreciate that. Now, the next question is this. You are loved by many, like in your industry, outside of the industry, everywhere. Everyone just seems to connect and love you. I know there probably would be one or two who probably have issues, but I know that if we're going to take statistics and do a poll, we would have a lot more people who would say that they love the person of EID Kabasa. Now, this is the question. How are you able to overcome these challenges that come with relationship, snitching on each other, and all the backbiting, gossiping? No, I mean, all those stuffs that happen, on our journey to success and across relationships in wherever and whatever sphere of influence that we belong to.
Okay, thank you for this question. You said, why do I think I am loved? Well, why do I think I am loved is actually a bit subjective, because I don't know if people really love me or what they really love me for. But I can tell of some of the effort that I have actually made towards being loved. You understand? I think for people to love you, you must be lovable. I think you must be lovable. And the major factor that I would say to that is like what I said in the beginning about the favor of God. When you have favor, when you carry favor, you tend to attract. Favor is like an attraction. You tend to attract people's love. You tend to attract their attention and all of that. So I think favor is one of the reasons why I think I am loved. Favor of God has helped me. And that favor of God, there are two sides to it. There is the part of God actually helping you. Then there is also a part that we have to play. That part that we have to play is to make sure that we do things excellently, we do things right, we also look good, and we appear right to people. They say perception is reality. It might not be the truth, but it's the reality. It's the reality that people, the way they perceive you is the way they will address you, is the way they will say, okay, this is the way this person is. So that part of looking good also matters a lot, Like I would tell some of my friends that, look, if you are going for an interview, the first law of favor is to make sure that you dress well and you use a perfume, you use roll-on and all of that, and you make sure you look and appear good and smell good to people. So beyond that, also the quality of the content that you have inside of you, the quality of the value that you want to put on ground, you have to make sure carries loads of excellence in it, carries stuff that people cannot reject. You understand? Because beyond Daniel knowing how to interpret dreams, Daniel was also a man that is given to doing things right, appearing right and all of that. So you have to carry an excellent spirit. You have to appear good to people. You have to be an orderly person and all of that. And you also have to find out that one thing that made people to love you. And you have to keep at that thing. It could be a principle. It could be a particular way of doing a thing. It could be a way of appearing to people. If there is that one thing that you notice that made people to fall in love with you, stick to that thing. Now, I'm not saying you stick to it and you don't change it. You should also learn how to evolve around that thing that made people to love you. And I believe we all be loved.
All right, sir. This is a straight question. What is your thoughts on what makes for success? For you, what makes for success? It's a straight question. What makes for success, EID Kabasa?
Okay, thoughts on success for me. Success for me, I rarely get to discuss success with people because there was a time in my life, success the way I see failure. Because both my success and my failures, they all agree to a major agenda that I have, which is the agenda to be a great person. Because that one for me is more of a journey. Because success is you accomplishing a thing. Success is you getting to do a thing and you accomplish it. You start, then you finish. Then if you do well, you said you have succeeded in doing that thing. That is how success actually works for me, which is almost like people saying that, okay, I want to be rich in life, and they become rich. That is success for them. But beyond success for me, I actually aim more for greatness, and I think I should talk more on my thoughts for greatness. You have to see greatness from the part of other people, succeeding from what you have created. You are giving value in such a way that you are not thinking about yourself succeeding, but other people finding expression within what you have created. And I will give an example. To be successful means you have money, you have been able to do your job well, or you have done a contract well and you get paid. If you notice all of these things that I've been saying, it's coming to me, or just my thing, we've been able to do stuff. That is success. But when it gets to greatness, greatness has to do with multitude. Greatness has to do with loads of people finding expression. Just like God told Abraham that he will make him a great nation. That is to tell you that he's not, God did not tell him that he's going to make him a successful nation. He said a great nation, because that greatness comes with multitude. It comes with loads of people. If we read through scriptures, when God told Abraham that he was going to make him a great man, he said he should look at the stars. He should look at some of those things. You know, if you look at those things, God was talking about numbers, which means that you are going to have numbers. Numbers of people, numbers of nations will be able to trace their generation to you. So greatness for me is actually an agenda that I seek. It's an agenda that we seek where I come from. That is where I feed from. And it's the ultimate thing for me. And greatness, you have to seek greatness not from you succeeding, but from others finding success in what you do. When God said, when scriptures, I'm sorry to those of us that are either from other faiths and all of that, I'm a Christian, so I have to actually talk to you from some of the, and the Abraham's story is actually common to all of us. So, you know, when God said, when God was talking and he said he gives seed to the sower and bread to the eater, I think he actually gave the same thing to both. Just imagine that the seed is beans. The eater will see the beans as something that he has to cook and just eat, and it will be fine. But the planter or the seed sower will see that same amount of beans as something that he has to plant and have what? A plantation. So it's all a function of your mindset. So I carry more of the mindset of, because I see the seed. I'm not saying that being successful will make you selfish, but I just see from that analogy that I gave, I saw successful people from the part of the eater, that you have all you need to eat, you have everything that you need to be fine, you'll be fine. But for me, I'm an agenda, should I say I carry the agenda of greatness. I want to be a planter. I want to have my seed planted in a whole lot of lives, that when this person is talking of resources, they can trace it to, there was a time that EID Kabasa did stuff for this person, there was a time that EID Kabasa did that for that. So for me, the thought more is on being great than just being successful, and it is a journey. It's beyond fulfillment. It's beyond fulfillment. You know, when we talk about purpose, which I'm sure some other speakers would have spoken to us about, you know, your purpose in life is actually is within the purpose that God created man for, which is to multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it. And in that particular purpose is greatness. You know, you cannot subdue just your local government and you think you are great. And God definitely takes the kind of resources to you that is based on the way you think. If you are thinking like a seed planter, it will give you the resources of greatness. If you are thinking like a eater, it will give you the food that you need to eat. So I think we should actually aim more for greatness than just being successful.
Whoa, this is success redefined. I just knew it. I just knew. This is mind blowing. I just knew it. Now, the next question is this. Have you had failures before? Have you had any kind of failure? Have you failed before? And if you have, what were the lessons that you learned in the process? And how can you help our audience today? Or how can you share the lessons with us today at the closing discussion of the Enterprise and Innovation Development Summit 2020? What lessons can we learn from your failures and how you bounced back? What were the things that you learned through this process, and the lessons, the principles, the strategies, the bounce back strategies that you learned, you know, through this season and through this process to becoming who you are today? Someone might be watching or listening or even reading at the comment section who would want to learn how to bounce back from failure through the things that you would be saying.
Okay, thank you for this question. You see, you know, I said earlier that I learned from a whole lot of things, and I also spoke that I see success the same way I see failure. Failure for me is not a bad thing. Rather, I see failure as a springboard. You know, you will not appreciate success until you have failed before. You will not appreciate joy until you've gone through some level of pain. You will not appreciate light until you've been in darkness. So I see them working together. And I cringe when I hear people talk about their success story and people don't get to really tell you challenges, pains that they've faced, that they've actually, the pains that they've actually gone through. Because a lot of times those pains actually do better than the success successes that we had, for me now, those pains helped me more than the success stories. I won't lie to you. Because those pains, they make me to sit down and think. When I succeed, I'm just jumping about, happy and all of that. But when I fail, which I do a whole lot of times, in fact, I'm a product of many failures. I learn more from failures. I'm telling you the truth. I've been broke, I've been rich, I've been broke. There are times that I don't even have what to eat. There have been times that I've done songs that I would think that the song is very good, but people don't get to like them. There are times that I've put out an idea and it doesn't just make sense. Those times, they actually give me more of a reflective moment than when I succeed. When you succeed, you have to start to have a lot of yes people around you. They tell you everything that you do is bad. But when you fail, you're on your own. And when you're on your own, it's the time to meditate. It's the time to actually go inside out. Instead of having those outside in thing from people, you go inside out that, why did this thing fail? It actually takes you to the place of really being able to dig into your true authentic self. You are able to come out with lessons that will help people more than just a whole lot of things. I've had failures, couple of failures in life. I've had failures even upon my job. I've had failures in business deals. I've had failures even in relationships that I have with people. But most of these things, they actually created more like a sort of springboard for me. They are in fact, my failures, they are like going to school. I mentioned earlier, it's like paying school fees when I lose money. Yes, I've paid school fees to know how not to do a thing or how to do it better. So my failures are like my lesson ground too. And they teach better lessons than even my success. They teach me better lessons. You will see more when you fail than when you succeed. So that's my take on failure. It's another way to start out better than you did.
You have been a part of many success stories, right? A lot of people see you as a role model and as one whom was a springboard for them to becoming who they are today. Globally, from London to America to Africa, all across the world, you have dropped a seed, in a lot of lives. Now, but this is the question. How do I know that this idea will hit? How do I know that this idea will make it to limelight? I have a lot of ideas on my mind. I'm juggling ideas on my mind. I need to drop some. I need to run with some. So how do I know that this idea will fly or it will not fly? So we're talking about how to move our idea from the raw state to the finished state. How do I know that this idea will make a hit?
How do I know if an idea is going to be a hit? Well, let me say this. I work in we call it the dark business environment where you don't know which idea will sell. Because what really determines if an idea will be a hit is people loving it, like we spoke about favor, and it being a good stuff. Sometimes good stuff don't really become it. Sometimes the ones that are not so good, they become it. And I want to take from a particular, I'm sorry I have to be using the Bible, I'm sorry. I want to take from a particular scriptures, where it was saying that the race is not always to the swift. In fact, people read it as to say the race is not to the swift. No, the scripture did not say the race is not to the swift. It said it's not always, which means that most times it's always to the swift. It's the fastest person, it's the person that does it well, that wins the race. It's only once in a while that chance and they say luck will happen, that people will just, and if you become successful or you have a hit idea by luck, it's going to require more from you to actually sustain it. It will require so much. So, but for me, to know if a song or an idea has become a hit, I can tell you of some of the things. Like I said, luck is not a strategy for me that I have adopted over the years and they've worked. Number one is to keep it simple. Don't give people an idea that is going to be too complicated. People run away from complication. They want ease. They want to be in heaven, not in hell. They don't want that idea or that particular product that is going to make their life more complicated. They want a plug and play idea. They don't want to be going through to figure out how am I going to use this particular thing that this person has given to me. No, they want something simple that will make life easier for them. Simplicity. And simplicity here does not mean mediocrity. I'm not saying you should now do something mediocre. No. Simplicity is actually bringing out the best in a very usable form. Let me put it that way. You keep it simple, people love what you are doing, and from there you can now take it to, let me say, the masses, and they get to use it and they love it. Now, the next thing for me is character from the place of familiarization. It should not be something that is strange to people. It should be familiar. I'm not saying it should be common. I'm not saying it should be copied. I'm not saying it should be copied. Yeah, it should be there's this word that we use, sampled in music, but it should be something that they are familiar with. And trust me, for musicians now, familiarity is a major key in producing a hit song. It should be something that, yes, they can't place it, but they are familiar to it. In fact, that actually defines creativity, because creativity is actually you hiding your source. You can't tell me that you are creating music that you didn't hear the notes or anything from anywhere. No. Even when you are not conscious of it, in your subconscious, you've heard something like that somewhere before. That's why you are creating something similar. But the ability to be able to hide where you are picking from is creativity. So familiarity actually helps you to pick something that is familiar from something that you love, that you know other people love, and the ability to create a new solution around it. There's nothing really new under the sun. There's nothing new. It's just an old thing happening to new people, because everything that will be has already been. According to scripture, whatever is going to be now has already been. It has always been there. It has never stopped being there. It might just be you discovering. So you look into what has already existed, and you look for something that you can just create a newness about. The newness might even be from something that is old, that you just create a new, about it, and it becomes good. Familiarity, simplicity, then excellence in terms of presentation of that idea. Make sure it is excellently done. Make sure, and excellence for me here is not perfection. It's not that it should be the perfect idea. No. Excellence here is the best for now. That should create room for continuous growth. For it to always be better. That's why you have your iPhone X, iPhone 11. There should always be an update to it. So those three should actually help to help you know if your idea is going to be a hit. And let me put this fourth one there. In whatever story you are telling with your idea, make sure that it's a story that is relatable to people. In fact, it should be a story about what they are going through, about some of the challenges, or about some of the things that is going on in their mind at that particular movement. Make sure it is relatable, and I think it would be a hit.
Wow. Whoa. Now, this is indeed the closing discussion. I am excited about this, and I'm sure a lot of us are too, looking at some of the comments that are coming. All right, sir. The street is not smiling. People are going through a lot. People are losing their jobs. People's income has been affected drastically. No thanks to the COVID-19 pandemic that came and all that. Now, the question is this: what would be your counsel to someone who is going through a challenging period, who have been drastically affected, by the COVID-19 pandemic? Some, like I said, have, funds not coming as it should or as it used to be, lost their job. It's even affecting relationships and marriages. A lot of things are happening right now. I want a word or a statement from you on how to survive this challenging season and come out better afterwards. What would be your word to such person?
Okay. Well, we are actually in the reality of post-COVID now, because I would say probably 3 months ago was when we were shouting what is going to happen in post-COVID. We are still saying now you are already late, because now we are in the reality of the post-COVID. What COVID has brought to us is change. And is not, if it was an expected change, probably people would have been preparing for it before the pandemic came. But there were always things that was pushing, that was actually pointing to us that, look, we need to start preparing for a change, but the majority of us did not pay attention to. COVID has brought to us change. COVID has brought to us a newness that is coming from what already exists. What COVID has brought to us is our awareness to look inwardly, to do things. COVID has taken so many lives, which is really sad. But at the same time, there are some positives to it because it has also called our attention to pay attention to things that we already have, that we never knew we have. Also to call our attention to a lot of things that have been asking for our attention for some time that we refuse to pay attention to. So COVID has brought to us a new change. The new change COVID has brought to us now is that you need to understand that any business you are doing, anything you are doing, you have to look beyond the way you've always been doing it. There is a change now, and the major, like one of my mentors, Kunle Shorinyo, was saying the other day, he said that the reason why people refuse change is because of their loyalty to the old. It's because of their loyalty to the way things are being done before. You know, because the way things are being done before, it normally works. So people become so loyal to those things and they don't want to embrace the new way things will work. And unfortunately, when you don't embrace the new way things will work, you will just fade. In no time, you become irrelevant. Our loyalty to what has worked is a major problem from us being inspired, and that is what I really will say. For us to survive this post-COVID period, we might need to actually start looking at the new ways to do things, the new way to actually do our business, to live our lives and all of that. Now look at it, and a lot of opportunities have been provided. A lot of things that you might have need to actually travel to go and do, you see now that you can do it from the comfort of your home. A lot of offices now ask people to work from home. We do meetings on Zoom, we do a whole lot of stuff. To move forward this new season, let me just be more practical and just go straight to the point. You need to understand that if you don't want to go out, if you don't want to go into extinct, you need to pay attention to your tech, which is technology. You have to be internet savvy right now. I was saying on a live program recently that the new transport to the office is no longer a fast car, but a very fast internet connection. You need to have fast internet connection. You need to understand how data works. You need to understand how technology works. And whatever that, I don't see anything that you do that you cannot put a bit of tech here and there, you understand, into to make it work better. So for post-COVID, I think we should be tech savvy, we should be thinking more futuristic, and to also see it as a blessing because now the world has become a global village. You don't need a visa now to get into a meeting in America. You don't need a visa to get into a meeting in the UK and all of that. So we just need to look beyond the old ways of doing things to look at the new ways of doing things. And those new ways are not strange. They are still coming from the old ways of doing things, but they are just better. We are using more of technology. We are using the internet more and all of that. So we have to look at this and embrace this new change. It's a good change, and I trust that a whole lot of people will survive. And another tip to surviving, any problem? Another tip to surviving at this particular period is the normal human survival instinct of whatever your hand finds to do, make sure you are doing it well. Whatever your hand finds to do, make sure you are doing it well. A lot of us might need to start redefining passion. I don't want to talk so much about passion here, but you have to start redefining passion. You might need to go into your own textbook, go and check the meaning of passion. Passion is beyond what you do. Passion is actually a drive. What drives you to do what you do? So you might need to go and understand what you call that, okay, this thing is what I'm passionate about. Is that the real end, or is just a means to an end to fulfill a passion that you have? So a whole lot of these things, we have to look into it. Some of us might need to change what we do. Some of us, in fact, a whole lot of us might just need to change the way we do what we do. So I think post-COVID will be sweet. So, and I pray it will be sweet for everybody.
All right, this question is heavy, Kabasa. It is heavy, and I need us to dig a little bit into it. No, so I have had people talk about dues. You know, I have paid my dues, and that's why I'm where I am today. And I've had people asking, okay, so what dues am I supposed to pay to become successful? Now we're asking questions about this due thing. I've paid my dues. What dues am I supposed to pay? And then I've had people say, I have been paying these dues and nothing really is forthcoming. I have done all I can and all I could do. I've been paying these dues, Kabasa. So what else am I supposed to do. And I've got people who say, I paid my dues, or people talk about some other person saying he has really paid his dues in this industry, or he has really paid his dues in this business, and all that. So what would be your word? Could you talk a little bit about this? Pay my dues, pay your dues, don't pay your dues, and let's see how your idea, your philosophy about this would help someone at the Enterprise and Innovation Development Summit 2020.
This one is actually sweet. So, there is a situation that we are going through now in Nigeria, and a lot of youngsters that are trying to come up, they are saying, you hear them, I've paid my dues, I have done this, I've done that, and it's my time to reign and all of those things. And my question has always been, what dues have you paid? This issue of paying dues is actually one of the reasons why a lot of people are stranded. If there is any due that any young person is going to pay out there, and please, I want you to listen to me carefully. It is not to pay any, I'm not saying that, for people that want to learn some trade, they have to pay monies to learn them. From people that have to go to school, you have to pay some monies to go to school. But the major due you pay, you understand, to rise is responsibility. Because responsibility is the price to greatness. You need to be responsible. You have to be responsible. You have to have the ability to give responsibility, to give responses, which is where you have the word responsibility. Your ability to give responses needs to go on the high. That is the major due that you have to pay. If you pay this bill, if you pay this particular due, it will save you from all those unnecessary lies that people lie to you, especially to ladies that, people will ask you for money or to sleep with them before you get some things done. If you have paid the right dues, that is putting good values into yourself, putting the right education into yourself, you won't be at the mercy of a man that does not have value. It is when you don't have a thing to trade with, that is when people want to trade with their money or they want to trade with their body. But if you bring value to the table, trust me, people, and be wary and be careful of the kind of value you are also bringing. Don't bring, like I said earlier on, don't bring a value that is too complicated that people will not understand. Your major deal is the ability to give the right responses. Joseph was responsible. That was why he was the prime minister. Not because he knows how to interpret dreams, but because he actually gave a response to the dream that was interpreted. You understand? That solution, that strategy that he gave for them to survive those years of drought and the years of plenty was a major response that took him even to the palace to become a prime minister. So you need to work on your response ability. That is the major price to greatness. And for those that says that, okay, I've paid my dues, and nothing is happening, check the dues that you have been paying. Check the dues that you have been paying. Check the kind of answers that you have been giving to situations around you. Check the kind of decisions that you have been making as regards to relationships. See, being close to people or being petty with people, people will say kissing, butts, and all of that. Those are not dues. Proximity to a thing doesn't mean that you will have the kind of result that thing has. But if you give the right responses, it will shoot you up. Like for pastors, proximity to your man of God doesn't mean that you carry the kind of anointing that he carries. In fact, a lot of time, proximity to a thing makes you to abuse it because you become too familiar with it. So you need to pay the right prices, which is responsibility. Work on your responsibility. Work on how you give responses. Work on your value chain, your value capacity. Work on it. If you work on it and you have the right value, sincerely, you even be arrogant. You'll be prideful. Don't let me use the word arrogant. You'll be prideful because, you people will say, that is, you'll be proud of yourself because you know you can do almost of those things that they are asking you to do in whatever field that you have chosen. So it's responsibility. That's the real due to pay.
Sir, the COVID-19 pandemic, how does it relate with the entertainment industry? Now, I have seen a lot of comedians talk about the fact that, okay, now that there is no comedy show to go to, and then I've had musicians say now that there is no show to do, people have canceled their shows, and all that. So the entertainment industry has been kind of affected by the post-COVID pandemic, because it's post-COVID now, right? But everybody seems not to be putting themselves together or yet to get their standing and their footing. So what would be your advice to such a person who is in the entertainment industry, and not just the entertainment industry, as it cut across all spheres of influence? Businesses are no longer the way they used to be, right? Even governance is no longer the way it used to be. A lot of things have changed as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. So what would be your word to us as we close the Enterprise and Innovation Development Summit? What would be your word to us?
Oh, my advice I don't like calling them upcoming artists. I call them the rising stars. You need to understand that you are coming into an industry, which is the music industry, an industry where there is so much at stake. You have to be aware of fame, you have to be aware of money, you have to be aware of sex, you have to be aware of power. You have to be aware of those four things. Though the fame and power, you can put them together. People will not love you because of who you are, but they will love you because of what you do. So pay attention to what you do. And make sure you become a better person so that they love you for who you are. When people love you for what you do, you build a fan board. When they now love you for who you have built disciples, real followers, so that when what you do actually fades, they still stick to you because you are a good person. So don't get too carried away with pride to now lose who you are, all in the name of trying to say, yes, I am invincible, I am invisible. Yes, you will become invisible. Nobody will see you again. So you have to pay attention to it. It's not bad to be famous, but you have to know that fame is used for, that you use fame, you understand, for some things. Not that fame is what you become. And at the end of the day, you now start becoming arrogant and all of that. You also have to pay attention to what I'm about to say. Pay attention to the business. Talent is not what will actually make you great in the entertainment industry, rather skill. And when I say skill, I mean the talent plus the business plus you're getting better every day. You have to know about the business. Don't just get into it and say because I'm passionate about music. Yes, also be passionate about making money from music. Also be passionate about creating other form of expression from music. Be passionate about widening your scope in what you do. So I just pray that God is going to give a whole lot of the young folks that I've spoken to today the grace to be able to do well in the industry and be, because what caused the fall of Satan was not money, was not love, was not sex, was not even power, but was arrogance. You know, they said it was pride. So you need to keep yourself humble. When you are humble, you will see between the lines. You will see a whole lot of things that other people are not saying in the best responses.
Heidi Kalasa, what is your closing word to us at this summit? What would be your closing word? Thank you for your time. I'm so grateful, and we want to hear from you what your closing word is to someone listening since yesterday. Someone has been watching us since yesterday, from one speaker to the other. The end has come to the summit. What would be your closing word to someone who is listening closely to this session?
Originality. Okay, I love that. But there was this song, which was my best song on the Gongwaso album by Nice. When Nice was a photocopy, go easy. You can never be like me. This is my ability. Teni, teki santanton. Akpalara igunpaniye kan. Oba oro ladigun baale. He was talking about his authenticity. That is to say, there are over 8 billion people in the world, but he has his own uniqueness. See, your uniqueness is what you need to take to the marketplace that will set you aside. That's your major originality. That's your major originality. Now, I'm not saying it's something strange. I'm not saying it's something mystical. I'm not saying it's something that you have to do on voodoo to actually see. You need to check inside of you that what is that thing that In fact, a lot of us have actually kept our originality in the shadows, all in the name of trying to become other people, all in the name of wanting to achieve other people's result. It's not bad to achieve their kind of result, but you don't have to do what they did. Your originality will help you do what you have to do to achieve better results in most cases. So your originality is actually your edge in the marketplace. Your originality is what sets you aside. Your originality is you. Your originality is not what other people have done that you see, that you want to do, but your originality is what is coming out from you. There is no photocopy of you. Most of us are so perfect in becoming everything except becoming ourselves. We've become every other thing by education, by marriage, by everything, but we've never become ourselves. So, in fact, I will say this, that probably we should take our time to go and read The Shadow Effect. There are things that people have told you that is a weakness, that in the true sense of it is not your weakness. It's actually where your originality lies. Have you not seen that there are some things that you see that, this thing I'm weak, I can't do it. If you check deep inside it, it is that thing that God really wants to use. Why did God use Moses, a stammerer, to bring people out? Why did God say it's the foolish things of this world that he used to confirm the wise? That thing that looks stupid, that looks foolish in your life, probably you need to start looking at it. It might be the originality that God has given to you to actually take you to the next level. Sometimes it can look so ordinary. You understand what I'm saying? It can look so ordinary to you, but it's something that you do without so much stress, without so much wala. So I think we should all look into it. Originality is actually your major capital. So you need to pay attention to it and just do it. Your originality is your authentic self, and that is what is going to stand you out in the marketplace. An example of originality for somebody like myself and my crew now is to do it in our local dialect. And at the same time, from me as a music producer, I will put a lot of local percussion into the very, hard hip-hop beat that I'm doing. I put those local percussion, and I just want people to feel now the whole world is coming for Afrobeat. The whole world wants to hear Afrobeat. Beyonce did a whole album that she did Afrobeat on it, featuring Nigerian artists. So your originality is what is going to make you a global brand.
Whoa, thank you so much, EID Kabasa. Thank you for your time, and thank you for allowing us have access to you whenever we call. We'll be back again knocking on your door, and we hope that you will respond to us. Thank you so much, and you have a good one, sir. Bye.
Thank you so very much for having me this year again, PK, and I'm sure next year and some other years we will keep doing this on and on till we get to actually meet to do the conference physically again, or if this is the new way that we have to be doing it, it's welcome. It's even going global. We are global now. So I really want to appreciate you, and thanks to all the listeners. For people that would love to reach me, probably afterwards, I've not been able to actually break down a whole lot of things because of the time constraint that we have. You can always reach me on my IG page at EID Kabasa, or you can reach me on from my email address, idkabasacoudedtunes@gmail.com. IDCABASACOUDEDTUNES, Coded Tunes, EID Kabasa Coded Tunes together @gmail.com. You can also reach me on Twitter and some other platforms. You can always reach me. I'm free to talk. I'm free to actually share some ideas and all of that. So I pray God bless each and every one of us. Thank you, Pastor K. Thank you.
Whoa, guys, it has come to an end. Everything that has a beginning sure has an end. The Enterprise and Innovation Development Summit. Thank you for the sacrifice. Thank you for allowing us to take a little bit of your time to do this. Now, we had a lot of people who watched from across the world. Shocked to see people from the United States of America, from London, from Germany, from Ireland, from Finland, from South Africa, from United Arab Emirates, from Qatar. I'm just overwhelmed, from Ghana, from Cameroon, from Kenya, and even from Nigeria. Wow, what an event. And I'm sure it's been transformational. Thank you guys for coming to view, to watch, to be a part of this. And like I said yesterday, I hope you had action plans. After this, you want to buzz me, send me a DM, a message. Let me see your action plans. Let's talk about it. Let's discuss it. Between now and next year, 2021, June 2021, the Enterprise and Innovation Development Summit will be taking place again in Abuja, Nigeria, West Africa. From all over the world, you want to make it a date. Book your tickets, book your flights, get your hotel accommodations. Let's all meet in Nigeria. Let's do this together next year, June 2021. After this, there will be a short video that will be coming to let you know about what 2021 is all about. And then you want to follow us on all our social media handles, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and then very important, you want to also join our Telegram channel. I am stressing this. You want to join our Telegram channel because right there, everything you want to know about what we would be doing post EID 2020 will be coming right there. Every month we'll be having international speakers, business people, captains of industries come talk to us on our Zoom platform. So you want to learn about all this, and the only way you can get this information is by following or by joining our Telegram channel and being a part of us on the social media platforms. How about that? So let's meet there. Thank you guys. And from the depth of my heart, on behalf of all the leadership and all our registered members of the Real Platform, the Center for Real Impact, we want to say a very big thank you for making this summit a success. Have a beautiful, beautiful one. Love you guys. Thank you.